Novak Djokovic defeats Nick Kyrgios in 4 sets to claim his 24th Grand Slam. Shout out to Djokovic for putting on a dominant performance. Nick Kyrgios took the first set 6-4, and although Nick Kyrgios was playing really really good, he only got broken, I believe, twice in the whole match. He held his serve for the most part in all his games. Um, Djokovic just looked like he was in control of the whole game. Yeah, Nick Kyrgios didn't look like he was getting dominated out there. It didn't look like he didn't belong against Djokovic. He could clearly play. You could clearly see why Nick Kyrgios was in the final. He had 30 aces in the game. They had the same amount of double faults, but Novak Djokovic was just on another level. His return is exceptional. Although Nick Kyrgios was hitting ace after ace after ace, it never looked like Djokovic got upset, got worried. He was just there, calm as ever, returning. Honestly, the way Nick Kyrgios was serving, he probably could have had more than 30 aces. The performance that he had, probably up in the 40s, maybe even 45s. There was like at least 15 serves that would have been aces on anybody else. But because it's Novak Djokovic, probably the greatest returner of all time, there were not aces or unreturned serves. They were just put back into play, and it was frustrating. One of the announcers of when I was watching the game basically said that it was a point that Nick Kyrgios won and Djokovic lost, but Nick Kyrgios could have won that point like 3 times before he actually won it. And the announcers put it perfectly. They were like, that type of point is the type of point that wins Djokovic matches. Because although Nick Kyrgios won that point, he had to work for it super, super hard. And to have to work for a point that hard every single time or numerous times, this puts like an immense pressure on your opponent, that they know that, they probably think they hit a winner. They think, I'm gonna go back to the service lines. It's time to, serve again because this is a winner. And Djokovic is just being an octopus back there, just contorting his body in all types of crazy ways just to get the return. And then you're like, all right, he's completely pushed out of the court. I should be able to finish it now. And he just comes back and returns it again. And he has like one of the best defensive lobs I've ever seen, where he barely gets to the ball, but he puts like a beautiful spin on it, beautiful lob that just stays in court. And now he's able to recover and get into a good defensive position again. It's incredible. It's incredible what Novak can do. It's just incredible. Like, not enough could be said about how good this guy is. And like, we'll see what happens in the future. Novak Djokovic is still not allowed in the U.S., so we'll see if he plays in the U.S. Open. There's still about 2 months, August and September, like less than 2 months for Novak to get permission to play in the U.S. Open. I think he just submitted like a visa or something to get allowed into the U.S. We'll see how that goes. For Nick Kyrgios, I do believe he's going to play the U.S. Open. He's good on hard courts too. And I do think he's going to do the U.S. swing and the warm-ups to the U.S. Open. So I'm curious to see how he follows up Wimbledon. I just saw his Instagram today, and he is in the Bahamas, but it does look like he's working out. He's putting in the work. And hopefully this type of run that he had in Wimbledon sparks a fire in Nick Kyrgios, and we see I don't feel like Nick Kyrgios is going to be that type of player that plays into like his mid, even like not just his late 30s, but even his mid 30s. Like, I could see Nick Kyrgios retiring like when he hits 30, 31. So he's 27 right now. Hopefully this fire ignites Nick Kyrgios to go at it at least for like a year or two more really hard and see what he could do. But for now, it at least will fire him to the end of the year. I'm hoping. I think we're going to see a good version of Nick Kyrgios during the U.S. Open swing, during the Asian Tour swing, and hopefully going into the ATP finals, where he should be able to compete for doubles at the very least with Kokonakis. And you never know, the way he's playing, he might even be able to participate in the ATP finals as a singles player. But overall, I think it was a great final. Obviously, as most people would have liked to see, we would have liked to see Djokovic versus Nadal renew their rivalry at Wimbledon in center court in that historic center court. It would have been amazing. I was already, salivating at the idea of that. Unfortunately, Nadal had to pull out. But this was a exceptional match too. I think everybody that was at center court and everybody that tuned in um, was satisfied with what we saw on TV. I know a lot of players were watching afterwards. Novak Djokovic got praise from the likes of Luka Doncic, and Nick Kyrgios got praise from Giannis Antetokounmpo. So, the world was watching. I was watching. Hopefully, you guys were watching. It was a great match. Like I said, shout out to Nick Kyrgios for putting on a good battle against Djokovic, and they had a little bro moment at the end. It was nice to see. Just it's crazy how time can change anything. Time can heal everything, because Djokovic and Kyrgios were once heated rivals that you would think is the last two people that would be complimenting each other, and at the end they had a good warm wars for each other, and it looked like they're buddies now, so that's great. I think both of them are great for the tennis community. I know a lot of people have their different opinions about Djokovic and how he carries himself and being unvaccinated. Obviously, there's some things that could be debated. Like a lot of people are saying that that picture, that press conference that he had right before he caught COVID, before the Australian Open, like that's very questionable decision that he made. We could debate all that, but overall, obviously, Djokovic is good for the sport. He's one of the GOATs. He's amazing for the sport. Nick Kyrgios, as volatile as he is, as crazy as he could be sometimes, I think he's good for the sport too. His different play style, he brings some of the characteristic of other sports into tennis, so I think that's good too. Obviously, I'm speaking straight tennis. If obviously there's other stuff outside of sports that still have to get figured out, so we'll see how that sorts itself out. But strictly tennis, these guys are both amazing, and hopefully Djokovic gets an exemption for the U.S. and we are able to see him there, and Nadal heals and Kyrgios comes with form. That would be amazing. But what a way to wrap up Wimbledon 2022. It was an amazing tournament, despite all the drama leading up to it, all the drama inside of the tournament, during the tournament. It was a great tournament.